It was busy.
It was busy?
It was really busy.
Like behind the chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of like unexpected.
Like good or bad? Or both?
Good, just a lot.
Just hard.
Yeah. My assistant cried at one point.
That's valid. I remember you guys telling me about that. That, I think that's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
And she didn't cry because you made her cry.
No.
That's different between me and you, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. She cried because it was just a hard scenario.
It was like a lot of frustration.
Yeah, that's valid.
Which is...
So there was something in the air this week where I feel like there were so many of us that were working together that were being pushed beyond our limits, not even in like time. It wasn't an overbookedness. It was a challenge with every single formulation or technique. And I felt like, I think it was like Thursday where I literally had to like look at people like, I am so sorry. I literally have to go.
Yes.
Because I was like, my mind is so fucked.
Yeah.
In the best way possible, but like my creativity is gone.
Yeah, seriously.
So it must have been something in the air.
Yeah, it really was.
Maybe it's like the change of season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wore my Mets jersey to, root on Tom here. So let's go Mets. This is now a sports podcast. Sports Talk Coffee Club. Sports ball. Yeah. We love games. The game. But anyways, so today I wanted to really learn about our co-founder, Gray. I'm going to do a little intro of you from what I know of you. And then I'm going to start asking you questions. Is that cool?
Yeah. Do you want me to actually tell you the first time I met you?
Oh, God. Yeah, you do
might
that.
Not know it.
I met you before that?
Well, okay, this is second time that I met you whenever you came back from maternity leave.
Okay.
So she actually did my...
Like first interview. It was your first interview.
Yeah. So
your culture interview.
Yeah. And then after that, like onboarding to the...
Did I onboard you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it was great.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And so then after that, I didn't see you for a while because you'd had Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like right after that.
Yeah.
And then it was probably one of your first weeks back. And I was apprenticing. Oh. And it was the first time I had seen you doing hair and you were like, I need you to wash this person because I'm going to tone them. And I was like, okay, cool. And you're like, use the clarifying. I was like, great. And then I was like, do you always use clarifying before you tone? You're like, I never do anything all the time.
That is so accurate. That is the most accurate, not only delivery of tone, but I've literally said that so many times.
I loved it though. I was like, yeah, it's true.
It was like this week, my new assistant was so sweet, and I was telling her what we're gonna do with the style and like that we're not gonna fuck it up. And she goes, "Okay, so what does she like? Tight curls?" I go, "No one likes that." I said, "Nobody wants that." That's what I said. And Kat was right there, was dying, and I was like, "Oh my God, was that delivery just really bitchy?" And they were both laughing. I was like, "You know what?
I love it."
And I think the reason I probably said that to you is I don't teach in absolutes.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right too.
Yeah.
Because and somebody taught me that a long time ago. Like the people were like, oh, I would never do this or I always do that. Guess what? That next week, someone's going to sit in your chair and you're going to be like, I have to fucking do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry I was so bratty. I was also like, if I had just come back, I was definitely suffering some undiagnosed postpartum craziness and I should have drugged myself then.
Ugh.
I did the second time. So that's hilarious. Yeah. So when I met Gray, I was phasing out of managing the salons. And the reason I was phasing out is I had just gotten to a point, it was like height of COVID, pregnant, house got hit by a tornado, moving, all the things. And I was like, I can't serve all things well. So I gave them ample notice and we were training people and putting them in their positions for me to step down from running education in the salons.
Yeah.
And we interviewed you. And my favorite memory, I don't remember much other than this point of the interview, is when you were talking about the other salons you were going to go shadow and or interview. And I said, you need to go do that.
Yeah.
Because I knew from you saying the ones you said, I was like, you need to see that because also if you belong there, you should be there.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes people get so hungry, they want to manipulate people into doing something. And it's like, well, that's not going to work out if they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so I immediately when you left, I remember Scott and Cliff both were like, why would you like encourage her to go to other places? I'm like, that's the whole point. They need to be shopping around to find the right fit for them because they're not the right fit for us if they don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity as well, like for you to, what if you go there and you work there for a couple months and you're like, I don't like it. And then you come back and you're like, this is what they did that was awesome. And this is what they did that wasn't awesome. Like it's always an opportunity for a business to grow in that sense. So I loved that about you. And then I didn't know much about you because I went on leave, came back, and then we got closer as we were working near each other. And then you got pregnant with Hank. And texted me and you were like, I'm pregnant with Hank. And you didn't know his name, but you're like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And can you talk to me about how you did your maternity leave and how you planned for that? And I go, no way. So am I. And I was pregnant with Jamie.
Yeah.
And so then we naturally got closer after that. But my favorite thing about Gray, other than the personal aspect of us being very similar personalities yet different, from the moment you started, you went from 0 to 100. Like you were like, I have a plan. This is what I'm doing. You not only said what you were going to do, you did what you said you were going to do. There's a difference. Like a lot of people say they want something. You never said you wanted something.
Yeah.
You're like, I am going to do this. This is my goal. I'm going to make 100K.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to do it. And I kind of want to pick your brain. And that's why, it's not the only reason why, but one of the reasons I wanted to do this project with you is because I think so many people don't realize that all you have to do is do it.
Yeah.
That's it. And people just like have this like idea, but they don't know how to do it. And so I kind of want to pick your brain on how you became who you are in the industry today. So when you graduated cosmetology school, can you remember what your thought process was of where am I going to go from here?
I actually hired someone when I was still in cosmetology school to teach me about the business of hair and
Amazing.
basically how you get where you want to be going.
Smart.
Yeah. And so it was like a business coach. And so in hair school, a lot of it was like personality, Enneagram stuff. Like that's how it started. Which is like a lot of what you're into too and learning about that. And then after that, it was basically all the different streams of income, how it's like more than just like the ticket price. Because in the beginning, your prices are your prices. And it's like, you know what I mean? There's so many other ways to like amplify your income other than just like raising your prices. So,
100%.
and it's, you don't know what you don't know. So and every business is so different, like type too. And so I just really wanted to know everything that I needed in order to get where I was going once I was already started.
That's smart. So you invested in a coach.
Yeah.
In school. What do you think made you realize that that's something you needed to do or should do?
Yeah. I think because a lot of people, I realized very quickly, like in school, there's like different types of hairstylists. And a lot of it comes down to what someone wants out of it. It's not just that. There's so many people that want something for themselves that never get there, which is like hard to see.
It is hard to see because it's like, we were just talking about this week. It's like, doesn't everyone want to be successful?
Yeah.
And I have a very hard time still like recognizing that everyone's version of that is very different. And I think just like you said, a lot of people say it, but they don't want to do the actions to get there.
Yeah. And it was just, I think it was, I had a little bit of a different perspective because my dad, who is a business man, came to me before I went to hair school and he was like, you should do this. You've wanted to do it since you were like 5. It's one of the careers that you can do anything with it. You can be like the top and the best, or you can just be chill about it, or it can be more like, you know, like hobby-like stuff if you're not worried about like the income that you're going to get from it, which some people, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And then some people, it's their career. It's their way to like live and make money. And he was like, you can make as much as a surgeon, blah, blah, blah. And so I went into it thinking that's like what everyone kind of like understood.
No.
But then whenever you look up the salary of a hairstylist,
The average of the US is like what, 32 or
oh
something?
my God, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. And so then I was just trying to understand like, where is this like disconnection between like how he understands what a hairstylist can be versus like what Google thinks a hairstylist is.
Yep.
And obviously some of it does come down to, especially back, years ago, a lot of like income was not reported.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like tip-based cash.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So that definitely does skew the numbers. But also people really were making like just that much.
Mm-hmm.
The average.
Were and are.
Yeah.
And are.
Yeah. And so I was like, how do I get past the average then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And why aren't people?
God, I love that we talked about this, and I was actually thinking about this on my drive over today, like how fortunate it is that we had people in our lives that we could look up to or they could encourage us, because that's the hardest part. And I think if you don't have that, how do you get that? Well, if you can, invest and hire somebody that can do that for you. Like having, growing up, my parents weren't entrepreneurs, but I got to grow up around my dad, who was around a lot of really cool people and did really cool jobs. And I got to see at a very young age that celebrities, ball players, all that, they're just people that have a cool ass job.
Yes.
So what makes me any different than them? Nothing. So what do I do to get there? Okay, just fucking focus.
Yeah.
And part of focusing is what you did, and you got a coach. So then once you got her and you utilized her through school, did you utilize her after school for a little bit as well?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So basically it was learning the ins and outs, like theoretically, of what everything could be and kind of reverse engineering what are my goals.
Like of your earning potential? Okay, cool.
And then obviously a lot of that would come down to very specific to me. So like the reverse engineering could be like a plan for anyone.
Yeah.
But then it's also highly dependent on how that individual is going to perform in that time.
Yeah, like you could have a goal and then work backwards from there, but it is on you to accomplish that.
Yes.
It's also different regionally or where you work or also what specialty you end up falling into or choosing, So I love that. I think it's so cool that you did that for yourself. So then year one, you're on the floor. Like you get through your apprentice program. Like let's just flash forward from there.
Yeah.
Year one, you're on the floor. What was your financial goal for year one?
100,000.
100,000. Okay, so talk to me now that you set that goal. Talk to me backwards.
Yeah.
What was your plan?
So my plan was basically I had worked the 100,000 in goal and then broke it down into days and weeks. So I needed to make this much a month, then broke that down to something that was realistic, which I need to work this many days in a month.
Yep.
And then that breaks down to this many days in a week. Starting out, it was a lot more days in a week.
Yes.
Because my prices were lower. Whereas like now if I did that same number in reverse engineered, it could be like 1 or 2 days a week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that was fine with me because main goal was like that 100K. Because also to me, it wasn't just about the 100K. It meant if I could do 100K in a year, that meant I had the clientele to do 100K in a year, which then realistically, the goal was to build so much in the first year that then I could cut back a ton in the next year on hours and days and still make the same amount of money, if not more.
Yeah, like if you raised your prices 20%, you would cut down your hours 20%.
Yep.
And even if you drop 20% of your clientele, you're going to get that 20% back.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I started by basically saying how many days do I need to work in a week. And it came out to be about 5 days a week, I think.
Yeah.
4 or 5. I ended up doing
price
more
point.
than that.
Yeah.
And I did more than that in that year just because I was like really trying to like overcompensate in case to compensate for like where you have no shows, you have days that you're sick, so I did a lot
vacation,
more.
whatever.
or like weeks where you're just not that booked, which in the beginning can happen because you don't have like repeating clients necessarily yet.
Yeah.
So they give you 2 days on the floor whenever you graduate, right? 2 days?
Yeah. It used to be 3, then it was 2, but I think it's 3 now because that's how it should be.
Okay. So then I told them, I realized that was not going to work for the goal that I had.
Correct.
So I remember I went to Scott and I was like, I think it was the week I graduated. So I had 2 days, maybe 3. And then I was like, I'm going to convince him to give me 5.
Yeah.
And so I went to him and I was basically like, hey, so I'm going to do 100,000 this year. And he was like,
the audacity.
Yeah.
You want to make us money? Oh my God.
I was like, but I can't do that with the 2-3 days thing. So I need you to give me 5. And he was like, well, it doesn't really work that way because what if we give you these days and then that's using up a chair for those days. But then if you're not booked on those days, then that's like taking up space for someone that, you know what I mean? Which like I get.
They manage their space like retail.
Yeah, it
really.
was just the rules that he was following of what it was supposed to be. And so, which made sense. So I was like, okay, just give me the days that I want for like 2 months. And then if I'm not booked, then you can take it back.
Exactly.
Yep.
Love.
So
I think one of the things, the overarching themes of both of our lives when we've talked about our careers individually is invite yourself to places you're not invited to.
Yeah.
And just ask for the universe, you might get the world. Because I look back at even when I started in Nashville, I was working 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
And should I have been given that chair? Probably not.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I understand like managing their real estate in that sense. I really do. But I think it's so important for people to take the initiative and be like, I'm going to prove to you that you're going to want to give me that space.
Yep.
We can reconvene in 30, 60, 90 days. And then if I'm not fulfilling my end of the bargain, then we can walk it back.
Yeah.
So that was genius.
And then you have this pressure to like
perform.
Yeah, exactly. Or else then your whole entire plan for the year is going to be messed up if you're not booked those days. So it gives you like this short-term goal too. Like I had this long-term goal and then automatically just made like a shorter-term goal just from that like agreement.
Right.
And then it's so much easier to think in terms of, okay, for 2 months, I just need to be fully booked on those days. Just 2 months. Just 2 months. Because then that will solidify my schedule.
Yep.
And so it's so much less intimidating than to be like just for 2 months. And then you're so driven. It's like you see an opening on your day. You're like, I literally can't have that there. Like that can't happen or else it's going to ruin the rest of my year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, then I won't hit my goal.
Yes.
So when you had those 2 months, how did you figure out a way to get people's asses in your chair?
So biggest thing for me was, I think it's funny. It's kind of like you said of like inviting, like I was just doing the wildest shit that like.
Just got to do it.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I'm going to build my credibility. Because the biggest thing in the beginning is like, nobody knows who you are. Nobody really knows that you exist. And if they do, you're like, you have no like track record.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like people are so drawn to like expertise.
Yes.
So drawn to it. And I quickly realized that. So I was like, how can I be an expert in what I do? And I'm like, I'll just call myself a blonde specialist.
Yeah,
like,
that's what they do.
Which I know is controversial, whatever. Everyone's like, you can't call yourself a blonde specialist if you blah, blah, blah.
Pause. Why can't you?
That's my thing. Who's gatekeeping the title?
I'm sorry. Is there a school that's a certification where it's like, I'm going to go here and then I can call myself an expert? No, that doesn't fucking exist.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem people have is they're like, people are calling them something that they're not and then charging so much as if they are that.
Correct.
I wasn't doing that.
Correct.
I was charging my base price, but I was like, oh, I'm a blonde specialist. But it's not like I was charging people so much more for that title. That title did nothing but like give me
attract people.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it wasn't affecting the price. It wasn't me trying to like do things that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I just realized people like a niche. They like an expertise. And people that get blonde done want a blonde specialist. You know what I mean?
They do. Yep.
And so I do everything.
She's like, clients, please know I do blondes, I do coppers.
But to me, really like blonde specialist lifting, that's all it is. Like lifting hair. It's not even so much blonde. It's just like that encompasses every single thing with hair color. So if you can do that, you can do it. it's vivids, it's reds, it's everything.
Brunettes.
It doesn't mean that you only do people with blonde hair. Like it encompasses everything. So I was like, if I'm going to be doing that day in, day out, it's going to make me better at everything.
Correct.
So, became like an expert in that. That was also something that I was already probably the best at whenever I started.
You also, I'm going to like stop you right there. You also were really good at it.
Yeah.
Because you, number one, were just good at it, but you also invested in like online. You were like completely focused on how do I become a true expert in this.
Yes,
like you weren't just like willy-nilly blonding people. You like invested in that research.
Yes, I put in the time and like the knowledge to be able to say that for sure.
Yep.
But I was building that the entire time. The entire time I was in school, the entire time I was in the apprenticeship.
Right.
So it wasn't like it came out of nowhere by any means. And then I was like, okay, how else? I was like, I need to become an educator. So I started doing that.
Yep.
I became like the lead color educator at Local Honey for the apprentices. And I started that a few months after I finished the apprenticeship, which I was just glad that someone gave me the opportunity to do that. And it made me a lot better.
Yeah.
But something I can add to the bio.
Exactly.
And then, the hair award shows all the different things.
Yeah.
Which.
It's important.
Yeah.
For credibility.
Yes.
It's important for credibility.
I think it's good to do because so many people are doing them. Like, really, the chances of you getting acknowledgement in one of those is so small. And that's for so many reasons. There's so many ins and outs and so many reasons of why someone who, like, even should be chosen for those things isn't.
Correct.
So I don't think anyone should take that, like, personally as, like, if I can't get into these nominated for these things, it means I'm not good. I think it has nothing to do with that.
1000%.
But does it look really good to clients whenever you are like nominated that you were nominated for something? Yes. So I joined 2 of those and was nominated for 2 in the first year. So then I was going to those award shows, just another thing to add to the bio. That's really what it was for.
And networking too. Like just to be like, I went and I showed. That's any investment, any class you do. If you don't post about it, you're missing an opportunity. Yeah. That's just the point.
I think the main theme of that is like just doing wild stuff that you don't think's really possible.
Correct.
Just going and really in that first year, if your goal is to be like extremely, extremely successful in a really short amount of time, like your whole life, make it your whole life as much as you can. You know what I mean?
When you have the energy too.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so establish your credibility. You're a blonde specialist. You got people in the chair. You were utilizing social media quite a bit.
Social media is do I think it's everything? No, but I will say people that are really wanting to grow, there's like 2 groups. People that are using social media, people that aren't. People that are using social media are doing it so much faster.
Yeah, it's correct.
It's so much faster. Is there still referral? Yes, but you have to have people to refer.
Exactly.
Is there still word of mouth? Yes, but you have to have mouths to talk about you.
Yep.
Is there still like going out to the bars and I still do that to this day. Like I was at breakfast the other day and I heard this girl, she was sitting right next to me and my mom and I had my kid, and stuff like this makes the biggest difference. She was sitting there and I was like, that looks like a haircut that I do a lot. And then later on in their breakfast, it was 2 like young girls. They were talking. She's like, yeah, I'm getting my hair done today. And I was like, okay. And she started pulling up pictures of what she wants and this and that. And she was showing her friend. And I was like, where do you get your hair cut at? And she told me. And I was like, oh, well, if you're ever looking for somewhere else, I do a lot of like the exact thing you're kind of describing. And then just showed her my Instagram. And I was like, you know, like it's no pressure.
I think those are organic meetups. I have so many clients that I was thinking of as you were saying that they're my most loyal. And I think it's that willingness to put yourself out there in that moment. And I think a lot of people are very scared to do that. Yeah. And that's just networking 101. Yeah. Just like walking up to people you don't know and just chumming them up. And it works. And also it's just a fun story.
It is. And that's literally what social media is, just not in real life.
Exactly. And then you've got a wider net or a wider whatever the analogy is. I can't. Fish,
Yeah.
Fish,
Cast
whatever.
Net.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, fish. Okay, so year one, you got people in the chair. I saw you do it.
Yeah.
You booked those people. You did all the things in person, networking online, following them up, getting them pre-booked. Did you hit 100K in your first year?
Yeah, a little over.
Little over.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So then after that.
I also was getting married that year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You got
I do
married.
think that's another thing is I hear so many people be like, they thought I had like this perfect setup and situation. And they were like,
no, they want to think that.
Oh, you were so young. You had all the time on your hands. Yeah. I mean, I was planning an entire wedding, getting married. I'd moved and lived by myself.
Right.
And then literally the next year I found out I was pregnant and going to have to go on maternity leave.
Yeah. People want to think that doesn't matter what story it is, that success is easy. There's not, for every success you see, there's a million failures. And they don't see that. Like I look at some of the people in life that I am obsessed with and like love their career, and I've listened to their stories. And while they might be millionaires or billionaires, they've had a million failures to get there. So people are always going to want to think that your life was set up perfectly for you to be that successful.
Yeah.
Let them assume that.
Yeah.
Let them assume that, because it's not. No one's life is. It's just you did the hard work to get to where you're going.
And I think that's one of the most hindering things is I could have been like, oh, I need to focus on like planning my wedding this year and getting married, and then the next year I can really start. But then that next year I would have been pregnant. So then I would have been like, oh, well, let me just get through this pregnancy and delivery and then it'll be the perfect time. Well, then I would have had a newborn.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, I'm in the newborn phase. Like, let me just get out of this phase. Like, I'm just trying to survive. And then I'll really, really start. And then it's like, okay, I'm pregnant again now.
Yep.
So we had wedding, pregnancy, newborn, postpartum, pregnancy.
Literally
there's
every
never
year,
a time.
every year that I've known you, something crazy like that has happened. And even if it's positive, it doesn't mean it's not hard.
Exactly.
And I think exactly what you said, if you wait, it's not going to happen. There's never an opportune time. Like even when I found out I was pregnant with Carter, it was a week into quarantine and I was drunk on White Claw, but I was. And I was like, I'm pregnant.
Didn't you? Yeah, you like locked yourself in the bathroom.
I did for like 45 minutes because Jay was like on a virtual call in the living room. And I was like, why the fuck did we were in a condo at the time. I was like, why did I do this right now? And I was like panicking. I had no phone to distract myself. So I was just in my thoughts for 45 minutes. Like there's never a good time. But guess what? It doesn't matter. You just do it.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So then flash forward, you found out you were pregnant year 2 and you made how much that year?
Close to 200.
Yep. And we're just so people are aware, we're commission stylists.
Yes.
This is not us doing like, full take home, which also booth rent doesn't mean it's a full take home. And that's a whole other topic we can do down the road. So close to 200. This year, you're definitely going to be 200.
Yeah. So
all that to say is in total, you've been in the industry like on the floor probably 5 years at this point. 4 years at this point. That's incredible. And this is just such a testament to if you have focus, just because all these other massive life changes are happening, you can still accomplish these things. You just have to put yourself in the right scenario, around the right people, and you invested in yourself. You also held your boundaries when you needed to financially, which is so important. I've watched you do it. You're like, this isn't serving me financially, therefore it's not going to serve you financially as well. And I'm so impressed by that. If you could have like one giant takeaway from the last 4 years that you could give as an encouragement to stylists, what would it be?
I think burnout happens whenever you're working or you believe that you're working really, really hard and then there's no progress to be seen or no like fulfillment so I think celebrating every single little thing to big thing and like taking a step back and realizing like everything that you've done in the time that you've had, because you know me, like it's just never enough. Like
it's never going to be enough.
Never enough.
It's annoying, not about you, because I feel the lack of contentment is so real.
Yeah.
But every entrepreneur I know, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And I just,
so it's good, like you said, celebrate the wins, because we're bad about that.
I really think too, one of my biggest advice, which is in life in general, anytime you're trying to do something in life, is the 5 people that are closest to you
Mm-hmm.
are so, so important.
Yes.
And pick those people so wisely because pretty much like anyone, you can pick out the 5 people closest to them and you can pretty much predict exactly what their life is going to look like.
Dude, it's so true. And I've had the fortunate situation of surrounding myself with really great people. And I've also had moments where I've surrounded myself with not really great people.
Yeah.
And I look back at those moments and I'm like, that affected me so much. Like it held me back.
Yes.
It held me back on shining my light. And while I was always successful when those bad people were around me, I probably could have done a lot more.
Yep.
And it really, really matters. And having those boundaries and that awareness of just, I'd rather have like a couple good, solid people in my life.
And those people are either going to open up your world or they're going to close it.
Yes.
And it's like, whenever you're choosing those people, those 5 people, what they're doing are going to show you what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not doing very big things, the possibilities look really small.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I didn't like you and the other people that I chose to be around, it didn't really make sense to a lot of people because I was a brand new stylist. And it's like, what am I doing talking and being with those people and like, collaborating with them and stuff. And it's like, I did that because it's what was possible for me then. You know what I mean? It's giving me goals. It's showing me that if I wanted to do that, I can,
100%.
And if I surrounded myself with people that were, say they were trying to grow too, or maybe they've been in it a long time and they just are still trying to get there.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're always complaining. They always have excuses. They're like, oh, it's the economy. Oh, it's my life right now. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. I don't know. People just aren't wanting to get their hair done. It's really hard to build. Like, that's what I'm going to start to believe is the reality.
Oh, 100%. Because we've even had those conversations where like, is this something that's going on? I'm like, well, not in our world, but in other people's world, it is.
It is their truth.
And it's their truth because that's their reality of what they've surrounded themselves with.
Yeah.
So the overarching theme is it's completely possible. You have to center yourself around the right people and also hire help and or invest in taking classes, whatever it is that you want to be, like it's your choice.
Yeah. I love what Cliff always says too, and I can't ever remember exactly what it is, but he's like, I'm asking for the world, and
if you ask for the universe, you might get the world.
Yeah, something.
Like
he's like, and he's in that era of his life right now, and I can see in his career, and it's done so much for local honey.
And he has a business coach.
Yeah.
And it's been helping him because like she's guiding him, holding him accountable, and you can see it. I really think that's the key element, whether it's a therapist and or coach or therapist, having somebody in your life that holds you accountable and or shows you different perspectives is absolutely vital.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest theme to where I've gotten so far is like, do the crazy shit, ask for the craziest things, try for like the things that seem impossible because you might just get there.
You might get there.
Or it's going to be like somewhere among like that. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me pick your brain. I just wanted people to understand more about you and kind of where we're coming from and who we're about. So I really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Yeah. Love you, friend.
Love you.